Hello everyone. Today we will be learning about sentences in respect to the book A Description of English by A.E. Derbyshire. Before we define what a sentence is, let us look into its components, its groups, and mainly how the structuring differs according to certain characteristics. Keep in mind that a sentence is composed of groups and that every sentence will have at least one group, although most sentences can have four. Now, there are three kinds of groups that is classified according to their behavior. They are nominal group, adverbial group, and verbal group. A nominal group is a group of words which represents or describes someone. For example, the nice old English police inspector who was sitting at the table with Mr. Morse. The nice old English police inspector is a nominal group as it provides more description. The words in nominal groups give more details about the noun. Now the adverbial group. The adverbial group is a group of words based on adverb. The adverb is usually placed before or after the main verb. For instance, in some places, cure will be achieved more easily than in others. Here, easily is the adverb. We will get to verbal groups in a while. Now take a note that each group can have any number of morphemes, that is the smallest unit of grammar, and each component is referred as a Roman letter for our ease. There are 6 components of a syntagmatic system to their syntagmatic ordering, that is the arrangement of the linguistic forms. They are subject complement, object, indirect object, intransitive verb, and adverbial group. Now, there are 5 basic types of sentences. The first type is SI, that is subject plus intransitive verb. For example, the sun shines. Here, the sun is a subject and shines is the intransitive verb. The second one is SIC, that is subject plus intransitive verb plus complement. For example, the sun is a star. Here, the sun is the subject, is the intransitive verb, and a star is the complement. The third type is STO, that is subject plus transitive verb plus object. For example, the sun melts the ice. Here, the sun is a subject, melts is the transitive verb, and the ice is the object. The fourth type is STO2O, that is subject plus transitive verb plus indirect object plus object. For example, the sun gives us warmth. Here, the sun is the subject, gives is the transitive verb, us is the indirect object, and warmth is the object. Now the last one, that is the fifth one, is STOC, that is subject plus transitive verb plus object plus complement. For example, the people elected him president. Here, the people is a subject, elected is a transitive verb, object, him is the object, and the president is the complement. Now there are 2 criteria on what groups makes what kind of sentences. The first one is the position of a group inside the sentences, and the second one is their own sentence structure. Let's look at these criteria with respect to verbal groups. Verbal groups. Verbal groups usually follow the subject. The main component is always a lexeme, which is a great way to identify a verbal group. The lexeme could be replaced with is, was, are, were plus base in the ing form. Hence, the SI example shines could be shining and the STO example melts could be melting. Now we will learn that the subject, object, and complement groups are nominal in behavior, and each of these types have distinguishing characteristics that enable it to be different from the rest. Let's look at subject, shall we? Subject. Subjects always occur at the beginning of the sentences before verbal segments. If not, there will be formal characteristics which will suggest subject-like nature. Subjects have the ability to come together and be replaced with certain morphemically characterized verbal groups. From this, we can derive that subject that can be replaced by he, she, it can be collocated with am, was plus base in the ing form. For example, it ran can be written as the dog was running. Subjects that can be replaced with we, you, they can work with are, were plus base in the ing form. For example, they sang can be expressed as they were singing. Now, objects. Objects occur after the verbal groups. They are usually found in 3 of the 5 sentence types, that is STO, STO2O, and STOC. Supposedly, it does come before the verbal cases. It will usually be before the subject as well. Now, unlike subjects, objects cannot morphemically colligate with other groups. They can be replaced by forms me, him, her, it, us, you, them. There are 2 objects, direct and indirect. Indirect objects are preceded with the functors for or to. For example, she poured him a cup of tea can be expressed as she poured a cup of tea for him as well. Now, complements. Complements occur in only 2 of 5 sentence types, that is SIC and STOC. They have a very limited range of verbs, and they may or may not appear in SIC sentences because it occasionally changes places with the subject. For example, Elizabeth is the Queen of England can be expressed as the Queen of England is Elizabeth. There are few things that can be noticed if you have listened so far. The basic sentence form depends upon the nature of the verbal segments or groups. Sentences of STO2O type have donative verb bases like give, donate, lend, grant, present, impart, inform, and such. Sentences of STOC are likely to have components as verbal bases, also known as factitives. For example, words such as make, elect, choose, consider, etc. SIC type sentences have the words to be, to become, to seem, and such appear as the main components of their verbal groups. The verbal groups of SI are verbs of motion, such as went, ran, walked, and such. Now, looking at these components, we come to the question, what is a sentence? From what we have learned so far, from all the criteria we have learned, we can now define a sentence as a structure formed according to certain conventional laws or certain groups whose characteristics can be described. Thank you and have a great day.